Us off.
Whoa, Susan.
Oh, I am looking for coupon codes.
Well, Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them.
Save me
Casey.
some dinner.
Capital One Shopping.
Not sure what that was. Casey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Go ahead. Start us off with Coach.
Thanks, Tim. Hey, Billy, what does a night like tonight say about Zach LaVine? Obviously has the ability to carry you in the first half and then commands so much defensive attention that second half and makes that nice pass to Otto Porter Jr. down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I thought he was very, very aggressive, which is what we need him to be. He was playing downhill. He took his shots when they were there. He obviously had an exceptional first quarter in terms of what he did and a great first half. And then I give him a lot of credit because he didn't really do too much the first 6 or 8 minutes of that third quarter, and he kind of bided his time, and then he got some plays there. But I thought he showed really, really good patience, and he really played on both ends of the floor and had a great night.
Joe Colley, go ahead.
Billy, sticking to the Zach thing, it seems like the tough thing for him to learn right now is when to score, when to take over, and also understanding when to do little things to win games. And he seemed to grasp that, especially those last couple minutes, couple huge rebounds, steal. He just looked really aggressive on both ends. Do you think he's starting to kind of get what winning basketball is about?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, Joe, a learning process for these guys. I mean, I would not consider Zach a young player, but he really maybe for a good portion of his career has probably had so many different coaches, so many different teams, and maybe hasn't been in a lot of meaningful games, so to speak, late in the season. But I think he wants to learn. He's a bright guy. He's smart. I think he knows that, we're just not going to always just put the ball in his hands and ask him to bring us home. To your point, he made a great pass to Otto, or maybe Casey mentioned that, and he scored. But I think he is learning. I've seen a lot of growth and improvement in him, and he wants to win, and he wants a direction of the things he's got to do. But like I've always said to him, it just can't be you shooting the ball. Like, you have to make plays. You have to make basketball plays. You have to read the defense. You can't predetermine and make up your mind of what you want to do. What is the defense saying to you to do? Like on that pass to Otto, it was a great read. He made a great, I thought, bounce pass to Thad. Thad kind of bobbled it out of bounds, and we lost it on a turnover, but it was the right play. I felt like he made the right plays coming down the stretch, even though it maybe wasn't always shooting the basketball. But he's really trying, and he's working, and I think I've just tried to tell him is he has to stay aggressive. And I think sometimes he is not as aggressive as he needs to be. And that doesn't mean shooting, but it means with his athleticism, getting out in transition, attacking the basket, attacking the paint, taking your shots when they're there, getting catch and shoots, not allowing the defense to crowd you. And I think he's trying to do the things we're asking him to do. And, he was really, really big time tonight for us. I mean, he had half our points in the first half.
Rob Schaefer, go ahead.
Hey, Billy. I know you've said that you're never going to worry too much about Kobe's shooting, but how much do you think he needed the second half that he had? How much did you guys need it?
Well, I thought the one thing that he did differently tonight from coming out of the Milwaukee game, the Milwaukee game, I never felt like he ever really changed his pace, and he was a little bit more herky-jerky tonight, where he's a little bit more difficult to guard. He had a big, drive, I think, around Richardson for an N1. He got to the rim with, I think, more regularity, and he was able to finish at the rim. When he's not playing herky-jerky, change of pace, change of tempo, when you're a guard and you get into the lane, it's hard to finish. But I thought he really got himself open with his change of pace and speed and the way he was playing tonight.
And one more from me quickly on Daniel Gafford, just with all the absences that you guys have, how big is it to be getting the types of performances that you've been getting from him the last 2 or 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, he's been great. I give him a lot of credit for keeping himself ready. He's done a lot of things around the basket for us, blocking shots, defending the rim, and then obviously offensive rebounding and rolling. But he's been huge, and I give all these guys credit. Even the guys that aren't in the rotation, have all, I think, worked to try to keep themselves ready. And certainly the uncertainty that we've had to deal with over this last week, and not knowing a lot of times who's going to be at practice or available at games. We're just trying to keep the guys that are in that locker room ready. And I think Gaff, like I said, the first 2 or 3 games, it would have been maybe easy to lose sight of that, but he's kept himself ready and he's given us really, really good boost off the bench.
Thanks, Billy.
You're welcome.
Cheryl Ray, go ahead.
Hi, Billy. What does it mean to you right now with the rotation you have, the players you don't have, winning a game like this, and then going on the road for a real crucial stretch on the West Coast?
Yeah, I mean, our schedule's really, really hard, and it's going to be hard. We're going to find out a little bit more about ourselves every time we play. I think the unfortunate part for us has been the fact that, our roster has been so inconsistent in terms of players being available, and we've had to do a lot of different things. And, hopefully there'll be a point where we get everybody back and we'll have to fit, people back in again. When you lose Lowry and you lose Sato, it takes a little bit of an adjustment period to figure out, who's playing what spots and what times and rotations. And then, those guys end up coming back. Hutch comes back and Arch comes back with those guys. Then you're back to square one of integrating those guys, trying to get those guys ready to compete and play. So, I mean, it's going to be a very, very challenging time until, we can get everybody on our roster, together on a consistent basis. And I give our guys a lot of credit with, myself and a staff being new and trying to put in different things on offense and defense and terminology and very, very limited training camp and a lead up to the start of the season. No fans, missing players. These guys have really worked hard and have really tried to stay engaged and have tried to improve. And, I really, really appreciate that from all of them because, I understand Doncic didn't play. He's a great player. Laurie's been out for us. You got to deal with this, and different people have got to kind of, be able to help you, step up in rotations and when we need help from people. And I think the guys have done a good job of that thus far.
Do you have to be cautious at all about the emotional toll that it takes with everything going on and then going back on a road and what happened on the road the last time with the COVID?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that this is probably a couple of things that I think have taken emotional toll, not on our team, but I would imagine all the other teams too. One is it's just everything's so different. There's absolutely no familiarity. And I think guys have really, as best they can, trying to stay in their routines and things that they do to get themselves prepared and ready to play. But it's hard. It's really, really hard because, for a lot of guys, sometimes guys like to go outside and go for a walk or go grab something to eat or, but, so a lot of times you're just cooped up in a hotel in one place and you're a little bit afraid about going out and doing much. So, yeah, I mean, I do think it takes a toll. It's not our team. I think it's all these guys. I do think that that's been a big part of, or I shouldn't say a big part, but it's been a part of a lot of these games that have been so crazy, the scores. It's there's a lot emotionally these guys are dealing with on a regular basis.
Thank you.
We're going to do 2 more, Billy. Christos, go ahead.
Hello, Coach. Congratulations on the win. I have a 2-part question. The first one is how satisfied you are about the response of your team after the loss at Milwaukee. And the second part is how easy make your game plan Zach LaVine's presence on the court.
Yeah, I felt like competitively we responded a lot better. I think we got back to a little bit more identity-wise of how we want to play. Certainly nothing's ever going to be perfect. There's things that we can still improve upon and get better at. I thought we fouled too much tonight, but it was encouraging to see us get to the free throw line as well, which means we were playing at the basket. We did some good things. These guys, I think, responded, coming off that back-to-back and having one day in between this game and not really having a practice and just having a film session and going through the Milwaukee game. And, guys came out and I think really tried to, do the things we were asking them to do. Zach's a terrific player, is very, very gifted and talented. And it's not even so much the points that he had tonight. I mean, he was incredible putting the ball in the basket, but can we get him playing, nightly with that kind of aggressiveness? That's what we need from him. And it doesn't always mean scoring. It means passing. It means getting into the teeth of the defense. It means maybe getting fouled. It means finding an open teammate. Maybe it means finishing, whatever it is. But I think when he's playing with that kind of force and that kind of speed, it opens things up for other people.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Last question, Joseph Phillips, go ahead.
All right, Coach. Congratulations on your first home win.
Thank you.
Yeah. So my question to you: how impressed are you with your team defensively in closing out the game in the fourth quarter, especially after bouncing back from the Bucks loss?
Yeah, I thought there was a couple junctures in that fourth quarter that I thought there was some growth. You know, the first part, I think we got up by 8, and then we had a period there we had subbed because I think that second unit had done a really nice job. We were maybe getting towards the 6-minute mark, maybe a little bit inside the 6-minute mark. And, you know, we had some turnovers. We had a bunch of fouls. We kind of let them get right back into the game. They cut it all the way down to 2. I thought we responded and made some plays and took back control of the game. You know, Kleber, I thought, made a really, really big 3 to cut it to 5. And, you know, we were able to kind of come back and respond. I thought Kobe made a big 3 in the game, which was important, big. And I think as a coach, that's what you want to see is guys in that adversity. And, you know, they're a good team, Dallas. And I know Doncic wasn't playing, but those guys are good. And they're going to keep on coming and they're going to keep on playing. And, you know, Rick does a great job with those guys. And, you know, you've got to be able to handle the runs and the momentum changing shifts, and you've got to try to regain it. And I think going through some of those situations were good for our guys to experience.
Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
Thanks very much, Billy.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.
Bye-bye.